Well, there is a big Manuel Ugarte breakthrough in his transfer to Manchester United, and guess what? A consideration of a loan with an obligation to buy has gonna have to come out as the best solution for this, to see to it that Manuel Ugarte joins the club of Manchester United. Welcome to this channel. Smash the like button, comment and share. If you're only watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Rokan David is my name, and hope you guys are really having fun wherever you are. And this is the channel that brings you your latest news and information as far as everything is really concerned, as far as the United transfers are really concerned. So we are here to obviously come in and really put in a very huge effort about this story of Manuel Ugarte to the club of Manchester United, as FABRIZIO Romano has gone ahead and told us that we are now working on a loan with an obligation to buy. Now, for everyone who's been watching in this channel, I was like, in an hour back, I think I came in here and obviously did an update about Sander Berge, when I saw to it that one of the players that has been linked so much to the club of Manchester United, that is Sander Berge, you understand, I told you that there is a reason as to why United has gone ahead to back out of that deal and obviously don't really make that £20 million bid, because 20 million is just peanuts for the club of Manchester United, you know. And now the word is United have gone ahead to obviously get a loan with an option to buy breakthrough coming in from FABRIZIO Romano. Thank you, Salongon Sobuga, Ishak Adam, Charles Malema, Christopher Wisdom. Thank you for watching it, and I hope you guys are really having fun. This is the channel that brings you the latest news and information as far as everything is really concerned. Smash the like button, comment and share. If you're only watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. And this is what we do here on this channel, and hope you guys are really embracing yourselves in the hands of the Lord and the hands of Allah. We thank God for the gift of life, and the Muslims thank Allah for the gift of life. And let's obviously set it off like never before. And yesterday, FABRIZIO Romano came up and obviously told us the following, that Manchester United have agreed personal terms on Manuel Ugarte deal. Contract terms discussed. Player keen on moving to Manchester United even without Champions League football. Club to club talks continue with PSG. With PSG as more clubs also inquired. Same agent like Lenny Yoro, you know. And this is something that he really put up when he had only gone ahead to agree personal terms. And what FABRIZIO did was to retweet it today, you understand. And no sooner had he retweeted it than he came up with this post on his X, that understand Manchester United are working on loan with obligation to buy proposal for Manuel Ugarte. Negotiations to continue with this formula as George Mendes leading talks with Paris Saint-Germain. Ugarte wants United, pushing a lot after personal terms agreed in July. So United are now working on to a loan with an obligation to buy proposal for Manuel Ugarte. That is really what I'm really excited about tonight, because you want to obviously see to it that all goes on as planned for the club of Manchester United, and nothing will obviously fail us from really achieving the deal that we want to see to it that Manuel Ugarte gets into the club of Manchester United. So this side of Manchester United has gonna hit obviously offer a lot into this deal, and they're pushing to get the deal of Manuel Ugarte done and dusted. And it's a loan with an obligation to buy for Manuel Ugarte, and negotiations to continue with this formula as George Mendes leading talks with Paris Saint-Germain. Now, what is the ultimatum or the final push? It's like United have come up, you know, United have come up and obviously reached a common ground with PSG. Remember, this agent last week fled from PSG to come to United Kingdom to talk to Manchester United to see what is favorable for both teams. And I told you that with his experience, he'll have to find a common ground for PSG and Manchester United. And that is what he has gone ahead to deliver in here. And for me, I have no doubt in Manuel Ugarte. That is it. let's get him in. Let's get him in. And I would prefer that, as today is Monday, leading us to Tuesday, you get, I want by tomorrow to get the 3 magic words, like Christopher Wisdom was gonna hit to say. We need those 3 magic words as up. We need them immediately here at the United Matters channel. Those 3 magic words are needed, such that if they are done tomorrow, if we hear them tomorrow, on Wednesday everything is done and dusted. I want to see him training with Manchester United on Thursday and Friday, and then maybe he's ready for the game of Liverpool. Or we can even go with him to playing Brighton. You saw Brighton went ahead to beat Everton, I think, by 3-0, and they are topping the Premier League table, meaning that they're really a very, 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 very strong team. So this is a very good breakthrough by the club of Manchester United, and this loan has to be discussed. First and foremost, they have to talk about the loan fee that United is going to be paying PSG, and I understand it's going to be between 5 million euros to 10 million euros. You understand? And then after that, they'll have to obviously agree onto what is going to be the obligation to buy cost. Like, if it comes to June, when the transfer window opens next year, what is it going to be like to obviously buy a player known as Manuel Ugarte from PSG, cross to a permanent basis to the club of Manchester United? But I think PSG will negotiate onto an obligation to buy to be mandatory, and United will be like, we want an obligation to buy that is not mandatory. And to make it mandatory, Manuel Ugarte has to tick boxes of certain clauses into that contract and the season as far as his performances are really concerned. You understand? So I think those are the structures that Fabrizio Romano has gone ahead to hint on, that Manchester United are really discussing the formula of the summer transfer window of Manuel Ugarte to the club of Manchester United. Now, I'm really excited. The moment you've gone ahead to reach this level, it's a given that it's happening, and United are doing all what it takes to get in this player known as Manuel Ugarte, and that is really very important, because I see a changed United when you're having Ugarte, and I just cannot wait that time of the season when Lenny Yoro will be here, Ugarte will be here, Luke Shaw fully fit, Malacia here, Rasmus Højlund in the team. I would love Erik ten Hag to be having that headache of selecting who to start and who not to start. But I tell you, it's a very huge update coming from Fabrizio Romano. United are working on a loan with an obligation to buy with a man known as George Mendes, the agent of Manuel Ugarte. Manuel Ugarte has rejected all the other clubs, and he's ready to come to Manchester United, even though we don't have Champions League football, and is pushing to see to it that he comes and plays for the club of Manchester United, to see to it that everything really comes to pass into the mix. So that's what we had from Fabrizio Romano, and hope you guys are going to enjoy it. It's really a very huge story coming in from Fabrizio Romano, and it shows you how good this is. But this story comes in through after what we call Sander Berge crossing to Fulham for 20 plus 5 million pounds. You understand? So, but I think one thing we should look at is what PSG is really going to be considering, because it will be one of the things that might really linger this deal on. You understand? PSG will come in through until Manchester United that you wanted to take this player in permanent, so we are not sure of this player, so the obligation to buy should be mandatory. And I think United will obviously say yes, because we've gone ahead to look at this player as one of the best players that can come in and fit into the club. And at his age, I think he's 24 years of age. Let me check here. Manuel Ugarte, how old are you? Let me check. Manuel Ugarte. He's 23 years of age, and he's just made 23 in April. At 23 years of age, what you get in Manuel Ugarte is he has some years to obviously come good at the club of Manchester United. You know, even if this season doesn't work out well for him, of which I believe it's really going to be well for him, all good for him, you really have some other 2 seasons that you can really give him to become good, and then obviously see him really getting up and running. And with the players that we expected obviously get rid of next season, you know, I anticipate that United will obviously have a lot of wars to pay or to make his loan mandatory. If you are to get rid of Harry Maguire, because he's one of those players, I believe his contract is not going to be extended, right? He's one of those players to leave. Victor Lindelof with an injury looks like he'll be leaving as a free agent. You know, we might get rid of a left back, you know, and if Jadon Sancho doesn't go this summer, next summer I think he'll leave. And that will leave Manchester United into a better way possible to obviously have a relieved wage bill. You understand? So, it's really exciting. Manchester United have come up and agreed this loan deal. And for me, it has gone ahead to take me to the sky. I'm really excited because I know why we need Manuel Ugarte. He's young, you know, and we've gone ahead to see to it that most of the players that Ten Hag is going to bring in through when they're young have gone ahead to obviously change a lot and make huge impact, you know. And Eric Ten Hag likes those youngsters because they don't have those egos, and it's very easy for him to enter into the head of that person to really become a better player. And it looks like the entire group at Manchester United, the hierarchy and the board that is below the hierarchy, and the coaching team that is below the hierarchy have come to a conclusion that they need to obviously hate in a player that is obviously called Manuel Ugarte. And that's the deal for Manuel Ugarte. At 23 years, that means Manuel Ugarte has a very big resale value. That is it. He has a very big resale value that can obviously cost United a lot of money. You know, even if we get him, like, because I believe that's the mandatory buy clause, who won't exceed 50 million euros as guaranteed fees. That 10 might be added onto the loan fees that you're going to pay this season, or the 10 will be as add-ons. But I believe United at 50 million euros, they'll be willing to come up and obviously pay that amount of money and obviously agree it to obviously get in the player. So I'm really excited about the player, and I know that he's really going to be getting straight into the team. And I think United also have a plan of forcing Casemiro out of this team. Like, they're going to deny him enough playing minutes. This is really a given, because when Ugarte comes in through, when Ugarte comes in through, he'll need like 3, 4, 5 games coming off the bench. And I tell you, the moment he clicks on, especially when those games of the Euros the UEFA Europa League, I think Ten Hag will first test him there, Carabao Cup, Europa League. You know, if he really gets or links up well with Kobe Manu into that midfield, then I tell you, nothing is really going to stop them from obviously getting Casemiro onto the bench. And we all know how Casemiro behaves when he's on the bench. You saw what he did in the FA Cup finale. He said, I'm injured because the manager played him on the bench and he started Amrabat. So it's like they want to get rid of Casemiro, and Casemiro is going to be playing his third season at the club of Manchester United. And remember, he left with just 1 year on his contract and a further optional year. And I think he'll be wanting to go and play in the World Cup of 2026. And he'll obviously tell United, if you're not getting me ample playing time and Manuel Ugarte is being played ahead of me, then I want to get out of this club. You understand? I think that would be a proper plan for him, because he's fighting for his position. He's looking good for these previous 2 games we played against Man City in the Community Shield and which other side? And Fulham at Old Trafford. He has really looked good, but I don't want better. In every position we have at Manchester United, I want the best option at the club of Manchester United. With the intensity and the ground that Manu covers, you know, I just can't imagine the distance that these two are really going to cover when they are playing the double pivot. I'm talking about Kobe Manu and Manuel Ugarte. That's where I'm eyeing. That's where I'm looking at, because I know to it that a lot is really going to obviously come to pass at the club of Manchester United. And that's why we need Manuel Ugarte into that team of Manchester United. And hope you guys are really doing fun and having the best of the best. And nothing is really going to forsake us from really getting this deal. I believe the moment we're going to hit to go into the loan side, this deal is closing in. And I know that tomorrow won't be far off for us getting in a here we go from Fabrizio Romano. You get, we need that here we go. 3 magic word for this guy. If he can really find himself training with the club of Manchester United on Wednesday evening, the better. Tomorrow morning, all today morning, I would love to hear a here we go. And after hearing a here we go, I would love to obviously find myself in a proposition of obviously doing that video that Manuel Ugarte to Manchester United, here we go, and then he's traveling to undergo his medical. Those are the things I'm really waiting to hear. And I told you, after United brought in Lenioro, Zexi, the double signing of Manuel Ugarte and Mazrui, the next player to come on was supposed to be none other than Manuel Ugarte, because have you gone ahead to bring on those players, we had gone ahead to solve those problems that would have gone ahead to buffer us at the side of Manchester United, and the only thing we needed was a CDM, because we all believe that however much Casemiro has looked good in the start of this season, he's not that kind of player that we are obviously going to be really looking at till kingdom come, because age is not on his side. And last season he really missed a lot of games because of his injury, you understand. So and and throughout this summer transfer window, Ineos have gone ahead to obviously sign all their players not exceeding 25 years, as they told us that those are some of the principles that they want to bring in players that are close to 25 or below 25 years of age. And the oldest we've gone ahead to bring in through is Matthias De Ligt, who is 25 years of age, and Mazuru, who is 26. It never meant that we are not going to bring in players who are above 25, but they want to bring in the lion's share of the players when they're really below 25 years of age. They've gone ahead to do it. It has paid off, and it's only Mazrui who is above 25, but Lenioro is 18, soon making 19. When we go to this other player called Zexi 23, Ugarte, not Ugarte. We've brought in Lenioro, Zexi, and Matthias De Ligt, all those 25 and below. This guy known as Mazrui is 26, just 25 plus 1, you know. And Ugarte is 23 years of age, young player, talented, and I believe he's going to come in through and put in the shift. Smash the like button close to 100 times. And let's get into your comment section. Salongon Subuga Wilson, good morning, great job, good morning my brother. Adam, can't wait to hear the 3 magic word, here we go. Obviously, all of us, we are waiting for that 3 magic word, and when it's pronounced, we'll be here to obviously go live and obviously have a say about it. By the way, it has been long since I last came live, right? And I'm sorry about that, but I'm back, and we are going to be having live videos onto this channel on a daily basis. Charles Malema, let the deal be done now, for it has been long here. I think tomorrow is when we are getting that here we go. That is Tuesday. In my country, it's already Tuesday. I don't know in your country what's the day like, but I tell you, today, Tuesday 20th, will be remembered as one of the days that United went ahead to obviously get the magic word of Manuel Ugarte to Manchester United from Fabrizio Romano as a here we go. Christopher Wisdom, nice idea, loan then buy later. I've gone ahead to see some people criticizing a loan with an obligation to buy, and I'm like, you people, where are you from? Where are you from? You know, because if you really know the situation in which Manchester United is in, you cannot really say no with an obligation to buy, because if we get in Ugarte, we need his services now. However much, very many like to sign him on a permanent, but the money is not there. What do? You have to find a solution, get him on loan with an obligation to buy, meaning that he's 23, and it's like you've signed a player, but you're going to complete his signing next season. So you mean even Arsenal made a mistake last season when they never had money to get David Raya on a permanent, and they went ahead to really get him from Brentford on loan, and then later made it permanent this summer transfer window. that wasn't the case, you know. And by the way, it really helps you for a proper plan. You get a proper plan on what you're gonna do. If Ugarte comes in through and doesn't really do great, obviously you know that I need another midfielder. You know, if he comes in through and does great, you obviously have to weigh in and say, do I need Casemiro to be part of this project? Or I let Casemiro go and I get in another player. You get? That is young, that is going to be an understudy for Manuel Ugarte. You understand? So for me, I think we need this player. We don't have the money, and let's obviously first get in Ugarte. Even if we move on other players, that will be okay. It will be business for another day. Even if Sancho goes, Scott McTominay, Hannibal, Lindelof, Sancho, name it, Pelestri, even if they go later. But I think let's first play it safe. And how do we play it safe? We play it safe by getting in these players that we need. And for any elite club, that's what you're supposed to do. Before you move on a player, you have to first get in his replacement first. You understand? So that's exactly what is happening right now, and we're waiting to see how things are really going to be panning out right about now from this deal. I'm having please, we should not miss Ugarte. That is Daniela Valentine, thank you. Then Jigba Rokani, please let Man United try to sign Manuel Ugarte from PSG. He is one of the best stadiums in his age. Yeah, you're right. Daniel Valentine, good morning. Already good morning. Then Gali, United should just seal the deal. And here we go. Tone is what you're waiting for. Yeah, I'm also here waiting for here we go, by the way. That's what I'm waiting for. Here we go is what I'm really waiting for. Manuel, I'm having Manuel Nyerowo, nice idea, loan, then buy later. Daniel Valentine, paying for loan and then pay another during buying. Is that not much money? It's not. It's not. I tell you. So you would rather not have Manuel Ugarte this season and wait for him? No way. No way. That's not how business is done. If you need a player, you get him on loan, and remember, he's going to be paying for you, on a loan, and you have to service that loan, You have to agree onto what part of the salary of the player you're going to be paying, and I think it earns like 100,000 euros a week, you get? Then, you really tell the club that I'm going to pay you 5 million euros or 10 million euros fee for the loan, to really be facilitated and see how things are really going to be panning out at the club of Manchester United. So for me, it's not something about too much money. It's about getting in what we want. Because if we don't get in Ugarte, it will be a very disappointment to Erik ten Hag. And this board is like, we are very generous, and we are this kind of board that want to provide you with what you want. We want to provide you with what you want and not really come up with any excuses that you never got what you want. And that's what the board is really doing to Erik ten Hag, because they've shown him the style of play they want to play. They've shown him their targets. And Ten Hag told him, all right, I can really achieve that, but under the following conditions. Get me so-and-so. Get me Ruud van Nistelrooy as my assistant coach. Get me Renhek as my second assistant coach. Get in the loan what? Get in everything. It is there on the board, and United is doing everything possible to get the manager what he needs. So I think we just need to get Ten Hag what he needs, and the rest will be demands from him. Remember, this season, no mercy on Erik ten Hag. He has to deliver, right? And the worst he has to do, taking United back to the Champions League. That is the worst he has to do. Then Gono, we need Ugarte for Liverpool. I tell you, for me, I believe that if Matthias De Ligt fled in on Monday, underwent their medicals on Tuesday, you get, trained on Wednesday and Thursday, and they got themselves into the squad that played against Fulham, then if Manuel Ugarte does the same, flies in on Tuesday, you get, starts training on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, 3 days, then he deserves to be in the squad that is going to be traveling to the Brighton Stadium, where we're going to be playing them over the weekend. He needs to get in some minutes, and after getting in some minutes, like 10 or 15, he comes, he trains for a week at Old Trafford, and then he gets himself into the squad that is going to be playing against Liverpool. For me, in the game of Liverpool, Casemiro starting is not a big deal for me. He starts, but you very much note it that instead of getting Scott McTominay to replace either Casemiro or Kobe Mainoo, I would rather do Emmanuel Ugarte into that business, because I'll be knowing that I'm going to have to bring in a player who can really tackle, win duels, and then does the needful of obviously playing that pass and holding that ball and really carrying that ball. He covers huge distance. His mobility is really elite. So that's why we need him for the game of Liverpool. And Gono, you are really right. We need him for the game of Liverpool. Then Gono says, good deal. We don't have money now. We have it next year. Obligation way to go with no option to PSG. So, yeah, I don't even want him to be thinking of going to PSG. For me, all I want is a mandatory option to buy. You know, I don't want him to get back to PSG. I want a mandatory option to buy, because what makes this better is, or what makes it safe is, when you have a mandatory option to buy that is really fixed in the contract, you might come back and really see to it that Manuel Ugarte might be ranked among the best midfielders in the Premier League, and you fail to put out a mandatory option to buy. Other teams might show up to obviously sign him, or even when it's United leading the race, we might need to pay 100 million euros, something that would have wanted to avoid right now. And I know Ugarte is a talent, and if at all we believe in him, why not seal it once and for all and say it's a mandatory clause with an option, it's a mandatory option to buy. No looking behind and no looking back. You understand? I think that should be the best that we can offer to this guy, because he has shown us loyalty. You know, he's like, I want to go to Manchester United, though there are other teams playing the Champions League that have gone ahead to show huge interest in the player. The player is like, I don't want to go there. I want to stay at the club of Manchester. I want to go to Manchester United and really play there. Meaning that his heart is at Old Trafford and he wants to come in through and feature in there for you. And kudos to his agent, George Mendes, because we all know how good he is when it comes, obviously, conducting businesses of this stature. You understand? Then, Gono says, so it means Scott McTominay is not going anywhere since we wanted to sell before we buy, and Fulham is here we go with Badge. Yeah, Fulham is here we go with Badge. But for Scott McTominay, it's a little bit tricky. Why? He's left with just 1 year on his contract. You understand? Meaning that United not to eat well, that the only chance they have is for Scott McTominay. The only chance they have to get money from Scott McTominay, like the one they are demanding, is this season. I don't believe that Scott McTominay is going to go ahead and really get the minutes into the teams of Erik ten Hag this season like he did the previous season. Last season, he scored all those goals 10 plus because he was playing game in, game out. You understand? But this time round, Ten Hag doesn't have that how do they term it in English? It was that short period of time when we were in really danger and we never had anything to do for him to not be on part of our team. But if you get in Ugarte, obviously that is a clear message sent to Scott McTominay that you are not going to be getting into the starting 11 for the club of Manchester United, or even coming off the bench. It will be hard because when you look at Manuel Ugarte, he can obviously come in through and either replace Kobe Mainoo or Casemiro, and that means that man won't obviously come next to coming to the pitch. Even when you are taking off Ugarte, he will obviously have to bring on Casemiro off the bench. And for Bruno Fernandes, we all know to it that the manager doesn't want to take him off the field of play, meaning that he's untouchable. And those are the positions that you believe Scott McTominay can obviously come in through and find himself playing. And one will say, all right, he's a very good goal scorer. Why don't they play him as a center forward or a focal point? I'll tell you, that happened last season because we never had an option of a striker, as Rasmus Højlund got injured. Even Anton Martial was really injured. You understand? That is it. So let's obviously get to know that he has no place to play at the club of Manchester United, and he really has to go. That's what I think. And I think they're going to sell him. They are going to sell him. Chisitu Caesar, hello RD, I'm watching you. Thank you for watching. Gono Casemiro won't go if you don't buy 2 CDMs. So there is also an option of United getting into CDMs. I think that's possible. That is it. And it can also be coming to us getting in Amrabat and very many others. One thing that really excites me, about these transfers and how we might obviously get in more players after Ugarte is, United are not giving up. They are like, a lot has to happen, you know, and Amrabat hasn't gone ahead to obviously accept any move or any offer from any club, meaning that he's having an assurance from the club of Manchester United that we are going to come in for you. We did it last year at the last hand day of the summer transfer window. We went in and got in Amrabat. Now, I think Manchester United is looking at that. And if I tell you tell me that Scott McTominay is leaving, Amrabat and Koa and Ugarte coming in through, I'll tell you, when are they landing? And when is Scott McTominay leaving? Apostle John says United is now heading towards where we belong to glory. Glory, Man United, we are back again here. But we need to first get in Ugarte and obviously see how magic is going to be formed into that team. Patrick John Vandy. Sorry about that. Patrick John Vandy. Good morning, brother. Good morning, my brother. Daniel Valentine, I want to see him in our next game, please. Me too. I want to see him in the squad traveling to Brighton. That's what I really want. Rajat V. Hey, go all out for Ugarte. That's what the club of Manchester United has decided to do. They've gone all out for Manuel Ugarte. Omabe Emmanuel, one Man United is wasting time to buy Manuel Ugarte. They're not wasting time. Let's give this board credit. The board of Ineos has gone ahead to do lots of things, and they're here to show the side of Glazers how things are done. This is how business is done. And 4 players in, all of those players have been bought on cash. And if you have to convert that money, it's pretty huge. We first brought in Zexi, 45 million euros. Then Leni Euro, 62 million euros. That is 107 million euros. And we've gone ahead, obviously, getting other players for 70 million euros, meaning that we are soon hitting our net spend. We are soon hitting a spend of 200 million euros. And you have to give him credit because they've gone ahead to really beat the likes of Real Madrid, Arsenal on they've beat Real Madrid on Leni Euro and Liverpool. They've gone ahead to beat Arsenal, AC Milan, and very many other teams that wanted to sign Joshua Zexi. Then they've also done a very wonderful job when it came to obviously getting in Matthias De Ligt, convincing them to obviously not to go to any other club, yet demand was there. It was really important. Daniel Valentine, why don't they get Ugarte and Amrabat? I think that's the next plan because I believe Scott McTominay will be sold. Robert Felly. So what Erik ten Hag will do with Casemiro if this guy comes in? I tell you, if Ugarte comes in through and hits the ground running, he'll find himself into the proper position of really being that player that is going to be very instrumental to the club of Manchester United, and Casemiro will go on the bench. That is it. Though it will be disgusting to have a player who earns £350,000 a week on the bench. Then Mawanda Dan, I wish we sell even McTominay. That's my wish too. I also want McTominay to be sold. Gono, with Pelestri going for 8.5, use that money for Ugarte alone and use our money to get Fedi at left back. How do you see it? No, Fedi is not going to come in at Manchester United. I tell you, he is not going to come in at Manchester United because Brighton have gone ahead to agree personal terms with the player, And when you look at the competition at Manchester United, why should we get in this player? Because right now, as we speak, there is Malacia returning after, I think, the international break. Then, Luke Shaw is also expected to return. Okay, Luke Shaw is expected to be fit after the international break, right? And then Malacia is also expected to be fit like 1 or 2 weeks after the international break, meaning that why should you go in for players that are really gonna come and really cloud around the manager? You already have Dalo, we already have Mazurui. You understand? Let's obviously first play with those and see how things are really gonna be panning out. And one thing that the manager has decided to do this time round is trying out Lisandro Martinez as a left back, and that sends you a message that United are not going to go in for a left back. You get? Every time they believe that they should be playing a left-footed player on the left back, they'll obviously sorry about that. They'll obviously come up and put in the necessary shift and obviously get in these other players that they really need. You understand? So I don't see them going in here. You understand? And a lot has to happen, you know, to keep them here. But Fedi Kadioglu, no reason for bringing him. I don't see the reason. Though links are there, but I don't see that deal happening because Dalo can play as a left back, Mazuri can play as a left back, and Luke Shaw is on his way back. Plus Tariq Malacia. Rajat, if PSG agree to it, that's a great deal. Obviously, a loan with an obligation to buy is really going to be something easy to negotiate. Among Vincent, we pray for Ugarte to come. Thanks. All right. The promise, we want Ugarte. Do really want him to come? Obviously, we want him to come. Robert Felly with Man U, maintain this guy pertaining to his loan business. That this same loan business make Amrabat not in United. Now, the reason as to why we haven't gone ahead to go for Amrabat, yet is cheaper than Ugarte, is that United and the board sat in their meeting and obviously did the needful, and they came up with a reason. You get they've gone ahead to come up with their reason, and they thought that this guy is not good enough. And who is not good enough? It's Amrabat, and they don't want him as their priority signing, or the player they believe is going to revolutionize that midfield. And for any player that needs obviously revolutionize the midfield of Manchester United, they've gone ahead to look at the 23-year-old, that is Manuel Ugarte, to come in through at the club of Manchester United and do the needful. That's what we've gone ahead to get in through from the side of Manchester United. So we are not prioritizing Ugarte. So we are not prioritizing Amrabat, but that doesn't mean that we don't need him. We need him. We are prioritizing Ugarte because he's the first choice signing for the club of Manchester United in that position. So it's really going to be something different because Ugarte is really wanted, and I think Ugarte plays a better role, or means a lot to Manchester United than Amrabat. Mario Lorenzo, yes, get Ugarte first loan or whatever, as long as we got him, the destroyer. All right, thank you. Stanley Benjamin, glory Man United. Daniel Valentine, I want us to get Ugarte and Amrabat because I don't trust Casemiro. All right. Aero Clark, breaking news: PSG and Manchester United have reached an agreement to sign Manuel Ugarte. From where? I don't know what's your source, but haven't gone ahead to see FABRIZIO post or any other person. Then gone on, Napoli want a loan on Scott McTominay, but I think we can get money from Scott McTominay because even today Crystal Palace has joined the race of players of teams that want Scott McTominay. As Fulham pulled out of the race, another team came in there and really joined. Gono, who is cover for Kobe Mainoo, number 8. I think Ugarte will do both because Ugarte is can play as a number 6 and number 8, but that's why I've already told you that I would love to get him to play as Amrabat and Ugarte. That is it. We still need a left back player. We don't need one. We don't need one, guys. We don't need one. I don't want us to really have lots of players at Manchester United, right? Sure, and Malacia, I think, are going to return. That is it. They're going to return and they will play. And there is also Amaz. Now, if you bring another left back, what do you think about Amaz? 17 years of age, and he's coming 18, meaning that Ten Hag is really having big plans for this player, you know? So, I won't be shocked if at all we don't get in a left back. Take Port Malawi. I think it will be our season with the Ineos group. What's your say, bro? Lots of things are going to change, and I cannot really stop you from saying that we can really win lots of things and obviously achieve lots of things under Ineos, and it's really going to be the first step in the right direction ever since Alex Ferguson left in 2013. Robert Felly, will United sign Ivan Toney this season? That's a lie. You are having Rasmus Højlund and you are having Zexi. So what's the need of having 3 strikers in your team? What's the need? And you're also having very many players on the left: Sancho, Garnacho, Rashford. On the right, Sancho, Garnacho, Anthony, Amadi Diallo. 4 players, you know, 4 players, right? That's really huge. And I don't think that any manager would want to have such a squad. Then Daniel Valentine. We should remember that Martinez is an injury. Who tells you he's an injury-prone player? Martinez is not an injury-prone player. You know, he played 95% of the season. That's when he got a metatarsal injury. And the reason as why he got a setback in the same position is because he found himself suffering that he got a setback, because I think they never really operated him better. But ever since they operated him with metatarsal, the next injury he got, I think, was that of the knee. And you cannot obviously rule out, you know. But he's not an injury-prone player. But we are really having very many defenders. The only problem is that a player called Lenny Yoro is injured. But you're having Maguire, Lindelof, Delete, and Evans. So, and Lisandro Martinez, by the way. So, if Lisandro Martinez gets injured, we'll be having some good defenders that can do the job. That's why I tell you we need a CDM who will shield that back for very, very well. Why should remember that? All right, Mario Lorenzo. We should rotate, but Casemiro. We should rotate both Casemiro and Ugarte. That's the plan, because we need them to come up and obviously put in the required shift all together. Then Gono, you still trust Luke Shaw and Malacia. Licha is also not trustworthy injury-wise, but I think even Malacia, the problem is he got a setback, but he played the first season without getting injured, and he returned, and on his return he really got that knee injury, and that means we never had a very good person to do the needful. That's why his second surgery was done in Barcelona and Netherlands. You understand? Meaning that our medical department was lacking, but I believe Ineos are going to obviously work onto that. So I think they're going to come back and they'll play football. They'll play football. I'll tell you, they'll play football. It's just a matter of time. You know, it's just a matter of time. You can't trust Malacia, who has now gone 14 months without kicking a ball. We need a left back. Why should we need one? I don't think we need one, because if Luke Shaw returns, you'll be having Dallo and Mazuri, who can all play as left backs. Lisandro Martinez can play as a left back, meaning that you can get Lenny Yoro and Matthias De Ligt play into your central defense and put Lisandro Martinez as your left back. There are very many options, guys. We don't need a left back. We need to strengthen our midfield. You get? Let's get that midfield strengthened to the fullest, and we'll obviously achieve the best that we want as a side of Manchester United. So, guys, thank you very much for watching through. Rokan David is my name. It has been nice having you to this channel. Nahucha Yune Willfish could have been sold since next season. Won't have Evans and Maguire. They're going to hate to sell him, by the way. We're going to hate to sell Willfish, and he's leaving the club of Manchester United. That is it. But next season, if Maguire and Lindelof leave, I think that will pave a very huge way for Braithwaite to come in through. Meaning that we'll be having Lenny Yoro, Braithwaite, Lisandro Martinez, and Matthias De Ligt. 5 elite defenders, and we'll be just looking in for one. You get? So, because we'll be needing 5, you never know, next season you might bring in 2 central defenders at the club of Manchester United. That is something great that I think is really doing wonders at the club of Manchester United. So guys, thank you very much for watching through, and this is the channel that brings you your latest news and information as far as everything is concerned. Robert Feli Aradi, why really Ten Hag want to sell Sancho to PSG? This guy is a very good player. We saw what he did in Germany. Germany is different from Manchester United. I think we've gone ahead to see how bad, you know, the competition at Manchester United differs from the competition of PSG. And Borussia Dortmund. Borussia Dortmund, you can do anything you want and you'll walk away with it. But at Manchester United, every game you need to show up. And I tell you, Sancho has been tested by 3 managers, and tell me a manager that has come close to getting the best out of Sancho. It has been Erik Ten Hag. And the reason as to why they really fell apart was because Sancho failed to apologize and went after going to his ex to put in that post, and he pinned it on the top of his on his ex account, you know. And I think it's hard for Sancho to break into the starting 11 for the club of Manchester United. Even coming off the bench to play is really going to be hard for him, because now Garnacho can be played off the left, you get, and Rashford looks like he's untouchable. You understand? So I think he has to go. Let's all admit Sancho has to go. He came in through when we wanted him, but he has to go. And I know he's also going to be pushing for this. Gono, Martinez gets injured, then what? Licha gets injured. Do you think that all these players are going to get injured at once? Like right now, Luke Shaw is injured, Malacia is injured, Leniero is injured. There's going to be a point when these players are back. You get? Luke Shaw is returning on the 14th of September. He's going to be available. You get? So, why should we think about injuries? You know? Because injuries are part of the game. What happened to Manchester United last season was unexpected. So, you might even have all those players and you bring them on and they all get injured. What are you going to do? Nothing. So guys, thank you very much for watching through. Good morning and good night. Rokan David is my name.